जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम 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 जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om Hari Om
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om Hari Om. Yes, what is to be shared?
स्वामी की भक्ति
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 Bhakti. Bhakti, as we understand, love towards God. Initially we start our love towards an object, a symbol, a deity, an incarnation, and later on try to transcend that and reach the state of Parabhakti. This is the approach of Papa. Bhakti is the sweetening word. There is a joy in it. Because the Lord, who is seated within, He is felt separate from us, and we offer our love towards Him. Later on we come to understand that even the power to love Him has come from Him only. When we reach that stage, that is called Parabhakti. Because He is there. Jnana enables us to understand this, that though the reality, God and the devotee are one, the devotee chooses to feel God as separate from him and then offer his love, adoration, respect, worship. And there is a sweetness. In fact, all of us have been initiated into this bhakti path by our parents, by our traditions, by our samskaras, at home. Nowadays it is slowly diminishing. Every day evening when we come back from the school, mother will ask, after allowing us to play for a couple of hours, to wash our feet and hands, face, and then come and sit before the puja room. There will be photos of various deities, avatars, and also gurus. All these things will touch and kindle in us love. Feelings, Feeling is the bedrock on which God concept is built up. If the feeling is not there, suppose we go to a temple, if the feeling is not there, we will not be able to connect ourselves with that avatar. But if the feeling is there, we get connected. We say, it was superb darshan. What does it mean? It was a wonderful experience, When we went to the temple, we got darshan and so many things got arranged. That means the feeling has developed. It is not the intellect that evaluates, but it is the feeling which cannot be explained. In India, it is that feeling that makes people to stand on queues for hours together. Travel hundreds and hundreds of kilometers to reach that place of worship. And then finally they stand and then they move, and when they are before the sanctum sanctorum, the experience they get cannot be explained, but it is soulful. We also go through the biographical sketches of Bhaktottamas, who through that form has reached the zenith. And they continue to be a source of perennial inspiration for all of us. But those who are on an advanced spiritual path, we have been asked to bring in one more dimension. That it is the same feeling. That feeling itself is given by him. The feeling to feel separate, him as an avatar, a deity, a guru, that itself was given by him. So the moment we try to realize that, we go to the power that gives everything, and at the same time maintain that joyful experience. So bhakti is there, but bhakti born out of jnana. There are two methods we can understand. And God will prompt us as to what should be chosen, depending upon our mental constitution, mental framework. So bhakti should be there. That alone can give us the sense of fullness in spiritual path. But care should be taken to see that it is not limited to a particular form for a particular time. If there is nothing wrong in concentrating on a particular form, if it is for throughout. But normally, nowadays we find, our bhakti will be there only when we go to a place of worship. And we don't accept, though we may be worshipping the deity, if anything happens to our life, we don't accept that it is he who is doing it. We may be going to temple, we may be going offering our worship, traditional worship, so many things. But at the same time, when it comes to my life, I don't find its relevance to my life. Immediately we start viewing it from our body, mind, intellect level. We don't bring in that deity, though we may say, in our own case, let us take, we will say that Papa is there. Papa means the indwelling and all-pervading reality, but he is also the form. He is also worshipped. Mataji was able to realize that he is the personification of the Nirguna Nirakara Sattva. This is very important. But we don't know that the Nirguna Tattva. We see the Saguna Tattva there form. Okay, whether it is Nirguna or Saguna, okay. But when something happens to our life, both positive and negative, we don't immediately remember that it is he who has done it. Kindly apply your mind more seriously on this aspect. That means we have not accepted our subservience to him totally. During the period, during the passive or what you call the sattvic period, we accept everything. But when there is a test, when there is a shock, when there is anything that doesn't go along with what we feel, we don't feel God has put this. Suppose we are a bhakta of Lord Krishna. A great calamity comes to me. I will view it only as a calamity, no? Not as ordained by Lord Krishna for my ultimate progress. If that is there, everything is okay. Probably that could have been one of the reasons why Papa wanted to have this Nirguna attached to the Nirguna Tattva. Because it is always with us, not limited to a particular form or place. All these are relevant. There have been many Bhaktotamas when we go back to the history of many of the states in India, umpty number of Bhaktotamas who have surrendered themselves totally, unreservedly to the deity. Whatever they are subjected to go through, their unshakable bhakti is there. You compare. Whether it is Purandaradas, whether it is Tyaga Brahmam, whether it is Mirabai, whether it is Jnaneshwar, whether it is Tukaram, Namdev. In Kerala you have got so many, Tamil Nadu you have got so many, Karnataka you have got so many. In every state, this land is blessed with such Bhaktotamas. Their bhakti and our bhakti is totally different. They have surrendered up completely to the Almighty through that form. So we have to be, that is probably Papa suggested this bhakti as well as jnana. Bhakti well rooted, based upon jnana. Because in jnana we feel he is indwelling inside us. Without name and form, he is this subtle and mysterious power. That is how he named it. And then the sense of individuality, which is an offshoot of this Atman, tries to remember it as separate from that power, feels separate from that power, and offer our worship, subservience to that power. Underline the subconscious state, we know it is both are same. This is something a very, very, very unique method. Though Ram and Ramdas are one, Ramdas would always like to be the chela or servant or the child of Ram. And he had a very mystic relationship. This is what he has placed before us.
Swamiji, can everybody be like that? Can everybody be like Papaji?
How can we answer this? Because each one's mental framework is different.
Yes.
If it was possible,
Yes.
then he would have declared it, In the same breath he said, don't follow anything, don't follow only your own. The guidance should come from within.
But that self-inquiry within each and everybody of the self, that got is beginning and an end, there cannot be any end. It should be continuous.
Self-inquiry, ultimately everything boils down to that word only, self-inquiry. So there we, as we keep on traveling, when we find a blind road, we cannot follow further. And then we again approach the Guru, and the Guru says, go within. And then, depending upon our intensity, our line of approach will be made clear to us. This is what the life of all Mahatmas have taught us. None of them have followed a common path. Each one's path has been unique. So we have to choose. In Papa's case, Papa always informed the devotee that you go within. Because, why he says so? As a bijam, when we came, when the sense of individuality was given through the bijam, seed, and then slowly a form was developed, and then it came out. Even at that time, the me and mine has not been there. Now carefully hear this.
Yes, Swami.
And then one by one we started putting on to our sense of individuality. Bondages, attachment, attraction. When we were a child, we did not know that all the sense organs are running after sense objects. Slowly we unknowingly or knowingly trained our sense organs to train so many things and to go out for the sense objects. First it started from Anandashram. We did not give any bitter gourd, on that day. We make a little kheer, payasam, and then put it, on this. First we are teaching. A sense object is there, sense organ is there, where it should indulge. Similarly, we take the child out, look here, look here, look here, look here. Even to feed that, we show a crow, we show this and we show that. Slowly we are introducing the child to go for the sense objects through the sense organ called the eye. So by that, we slowly start gathering so many impressions. And as we grow, we give a definition for our life. What should be our life? We frame a concept. And by the time we enter into the school, and then we know whatever we get, we never check up how do we get educated. We always think about, the parents tell about marks. You must have 80 plus, 90 plus, like that, then only you will get seat. Whole concentration is on outside, not how I assimilated, not how I brought it out in my own way. It was the inner principle that guided me. I was never thought. So by the time we reach the adult's age, we have put on so many things on us. And that is why we are all struggling. That is why yesterday we said, Papa says in one of his quotations, when the false conventions and ostentatious observances are broken through, the soul is liberated. It is called liberation, Just imagine the word. Liberation from the clutches of, liberation from the bondage of. So many things which we have put on ourselves. For realizing the truth, T capital, that means Bhagavan. No external paraphernalia is necessary. No garb, no sign, no cult, no creed can help you. Because when we came to this world from the bija to the expressive state, we were free from all these things, We were totally free from all these things. No suffix, no prefix. Even we cannot because of that we cannot explain what state it was. Because we can only interpret in terms of some suffix and prefix. And so, no garb, no sign, no cult, no creed. The day will come when we have tried and exhausted all methods, based upon the guidance we get from without and within. Guru guides us, Shastras guide us. When we have exhausted everything, then later on we come to know that we are not going up to the mark. That means the equipment is not ready. We worship our Guru or spiritual preceptor. We want to go along with what he says. We have emotional bonding with him. But as we try to do that, we find the equipment is not cooperating with us. Because right from day one of our entry, when we started knowing ourselves, whenever awakening started, that I am an individual. First, I am an individual. That awakening, I am not talking about the other awakening. That I am an individual. From that day onward, we have been trying to put so many on our personality. So he says, the day will come when you have to leave all these behind and go to meet the eternal in the perfect nakedness of your spirit. Perfect nakedness of your spirit. Shedding all make-believe forms, customs, traditions. And then what happens? Simplicity, spontaneity and humility become the guiding principles of your life. You move freely with all, you love all alike, you break all boundaries set by the calculating and selfish human mind. You soar like a free bird in the infinite expanse of the spiritual firmament. You look upon all beings and creatures as the embodiment of the one divine, all-pervading spirit. Temples, ashrams, mosques, churches, synagogues, viharas cannot imprison your soul. You find your soul's delight and joy at all places, in the best as well as the worst. We started with bhakti, we are not forgetting this. Why we have not been able to live up to the life of the Bhaktottamas? It is not simply possible. Because we have our rearing up, our growing up has not been like that. God did not will it. But still we find joy in going through their biographical sketches. We enjoy their compositions. Because that will definitely bring to our mind the nectar of bhakti, the sweetness of bhakti. But every one of us has to check up whether it has helped me to realize his presence within. The deity who is a symbolical representation of this reality is seated within me. Whether I worship him in this form or that form, he is there in me. Have I been able to understand? Have I been able to realize? Have I been able to feel his presence? This is what Papa keeps on telling us. He is not against bhakti. He is very much for bhakti. But his bhakti is something different from the bhakti that we have understood as bhakti. He also accepts all incarnations. He accepts all gurus. But forms of that, just like there are different forms like us, the all-pervading, indwelling and all-pervading reality has also been brought out in different forms through different incarnations, with Puranas supporting. All those things are 100% valid. But every now and then we have to check up whether we are becoming aware of his presence within. So initially we place our bhakti on a deity, we go to a temple, on an image, on a photo, and then we develop an emotional relationship with that deity, we find joy, we find, we unload whatever problem we have. All these things are helping us, but we also know that the surrender is not there. It is only for a particular time. Immediately after that, we are back to square one, me to me, intact. Probably that could have been the reason why, when you go to the temple, there are so many charts, offerings under different heads.
Thank you.
Think about it.
One doubt, Swamiji. Suppose some calamity strikes us or some misfortune happens in the family, and we feel that God has given us that. But even if we have to undergo the sufferings now.
Even when we accept it as God-given calamity and suffering, still we have to go through the suffering.
We have to go through. Everybody has to go through. Everybody has to go through because we have come with a baggage called karma sanchita, sanchita karma, prarabdha. Nobody is exempt.
Swamiji, is bhakti inherent or do we develop it?
Is it inherent or do we develop it?
It is inherent. 100% inherent. So when we chant Ram Nam, it is an expression of bhakti. Because knowing very well, what does Papa say? Chant Ram Nam with the feeling that we are chanting the name of one who is seated within. No? There is a separation. And then next step, he says, feel that he is making you to chant. These two statements kindly go. First he says, you are chanting the name of one who is within you. The second thing he says, he is making you to chant. That is why when somebody asks, I have been chanting for 30 years, I have not had your experience. So Papa said, he feels he is chanting. So even if he does it for 100 years, he will be like this. But the moment he comes to know that he is made to chant, immediately it takes him to. So what does it mean? No? Very powerful words. In a small booklet we brought out 2-3 years back, Nama chanting is the password to divinity. That was the title of the book. There we brought it out, this particular word, because it is that gives us more clarity. When I do Ram Nam, it gives me more clarity. I am chanting the name of one who is within me, and I have been able to chant because he is making me to chant. Then later on we will slow.
The extension doesn't happen, Swamiji.
Extension does not
It is not
happen.
happening.
Extension doesn't happen, it seems.
It doesn't happen. It has to happen.
Not to me, I mean.
So if it has to happen, something else also we have to add.
Yeah, Swamiji, I mean to say, when we know, when we understand that we have been made to chant, then the extension has to happen automatically or sometime later.
It must have. That means it is going again at the lip level. So during the non-chanting time or even during the chanting time, suppose we close our eyes and chant and try to go to the source from where the nada comes, the sound comes, then we come to know that we are not chanting. The prompting comes from within and the chanting goes on. Just like the prompting comes within and then the words are coming out. So that is the truth.
Yes, Swamiji, I am able to get a grip on that. But I feel it is a corollary to know that as much as we exist within me, we exist in everybody.
Correct.
That is what I am feeling.
Like that we progress, We let it all be commas. Like that, yes, that is also an improvement, So here Papa has put it in a very simple word. How am I to understand that he is making me to chant? That answers everything. That is why when Sachidananda Swamiji asked that whenever I get doubt, he said no. That means you have not chanted it properly. Means what? Not the rhythm or the word, but the objective with which we are chanting. If that will make more and more clearer and clearer. So he says when it was not clear, in one of his satsang he said, first of all you should know that you are chanting the name of one who is seated within you. Where is he? I will start thinking, I have been asked to think that he is within me. How am I to feel his presence? Then slowly the inward journey starts. Again I don't get answer. So he gives one more push. Life is the expression of Atman. Even though I cannot feel it, I will accept it. All these vital organs are functioning not because of me. It is because of that power. That power is there. And with the power only I can think. And the thinking faculty, which is a gift of that power, cannot think of that power. It is not possible. Illogical, irrational. So it cannot be brought within the ambit of expression or a thought. So we have to cross the boundary of the thought. All these things will come with one word, that he is within you. You are chanting the name of one who is within you and who is making you to chant.
Swamiji, slowly we keep on extrapolating.
Correct. Slowly.
So, when I am working, he is making me to work, he is making me to cook, he is making me to serve. So that I keep on bringing this into my mind. And still I am failing at the place when I know that he is within others. He is the one who is making others talk to me. That is where I am failing.
And Jayanti Ben was telling about bhakti, Now we remember, if we go through In Quest of God, the first book of Papa, he gives this guidance that simultaneously you develop a relationship with him and then place everything before him. I am unable to concentrate. I am unable to go within. So the helplessness of the sense of individuality is repeatedly expressed. When it is repeatedly expressed, instead of arrogating that I will do this, I will do that, it becomes tamed down. No? Even in the second chapter you find that, he pleads. When you are everything, people say that I do this, I do that, whereas everything is yours. So kindly take me into your complete fold and remove the I-ness. So the subservience to that power, bhakti, that will help us to gradually
Swamiji,
tone down.
Swamiji, Mataji's second chapter is an applied value, applied thing of what you are saying. Also, infinite expansion. Learning and understanding. Learning and understanding Papa behind every act.
As much as possible we try. Mataji has praised for second chapter itself, she has given, infinite expansion. Because that is the cream. Suppose you remove all the matters there, what is the cream there? Subservience to a higher power. Subservience to a higher power paves the way for expanding. Expanding from the me and mine to him. So there is no other way. So the bhakti is there, because we are praying to a power. Later on we come to know even the power to pray has been given by him. Even I am not praying because of me. I am praying only because he has given me the power to pray.
Yes.
So we devise.
Give us that. He has been so kind to give us that power to pray.
He has been so kind to give us that power to pray.
He has been kind enough. Because he wanted to have this Leela, he wanted to have this cosmos to go like this, but at the same time, he has given us this. Those who opt for this, they try to move towards him. That priority also he has to give, okay. But then he says self-effort. Prayer and self-effort should go together. Prayer and self-effort. Until we know that the self-effort is also prayer and self-effort is also given by him.
Swamiji. Swamiji. Actually, we find difficult to relate God as we don't know how to relate the God as relationship.
How to relate God with all activities.
How to relate to God.
Then try one to go. Nama is the link between us and God.
When this becomes clarity, when we get a clarity on this,
that is why he used the word life is the expression of Atman. Everybody was struggling until we knew this, People who have gone through intensely Srimad Bhagavad Gita, they get the idea. Because people who have gone through Papas, actually this is a wonderful clarity he gave. Life is the expression of Atman. So we all have some idea about life. Oh, is that Atman? And he also adds, though seemingly two, they are one. Then when we went to the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna has already said this, Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu. I am there in everybody as the life principle. So the dynamic aspect is brought out in the form of life principle. Why did he mention that? Why did Papa mention that? Because this struggle, which we have expressed now, very difficult to connect ourselves with him. Because right from when we started knowing about ourselves, never we were connected with God inside, We were taken to the puja room, we were taken to the temple, we were taken to the ashram, always cementing that God is separate, God is separate, God is separate, God is separate. So one fine morning when the Guru says God is within, He is behind your every thought and deed, we have not prepared. Because so far for 15, 20, 25, 30, 40 years, we have been cementing or concretizing this idea that I am separate, God is separate. He has to receive my petitions. Whenever I am in trouble, He has to hear. He has to relieve me from all my problem. That is the job of God. The moment my problem is solved, then I don't give much importance to that God principle at all, unknowingly. Again, when I get a kick, I remember Him. Otherwise, I don't find any relevance of Him in my life. This is the blunt truth. So here Papa says, no, life is the expression of God. You are existing because of the life force. That means you are existing because of Atman. Bereft of Atman, you are zero. Bereft of God, you are zero. So then we start understanding what is life. So whenever we are alone, we can think about it. How does my eye see? How does my hear? How does my tongue taste? How does my nose smells? How does I feel others? By touch. How do I think? Where from this mechanism comes? So this is though we are not very clear, we have put it as life, because we have seen a dead body not having anything. So we can clearly see what is this life force. So we start from that. That is why he said he is making you to chant. Without life force, can I chant? Can I do bhajan? Can I have darshan? Can I study anything? Can I think about God? No. Think,
Yes, some questions from yes.
Life is the expression of spirit.
Atman.
But we knew that without life also soul exists.
Without life, how soul? He's telling without life, soul exists, it seems. Without life, how soul exists?
Without life?
Atma is existing without body also. And there are instances where...
No, when this word comes, life is the expression of Atman. Expression of Atman. Okay? The Atman exists even beyond the boundaries of life. Jada is there, Even in a dead body, so many cells are there, how does the decomposition takes place? So the life is the expression of Atman. We should know that. Life is not Atman. Life is the expression of Atman. That will help us to understand Him. The power behind the heart beat, This is the first step. The next step comes, awareness. Third step comes intelligence. Then we can add creativity, productivity, love, compassion, so many things. Not merely this. But this is the one which gives us straight away clarity to step into the inner sanctorum. How do I understand that He is there? That is why Lord Krishna says, I am there in the form of life. Jivanam sarvabhuteshu. Easy for us. Otherwise, as somebody has pointed out, how do I connect myself to Him? Initially, I may develop a relationship with the deity. Then later on, no, my intellect will start questioning everything. And then I find, I don't get connected at all. And when I go to a guru, yesterday somebody said Soham, no, for example. If to understand that level, I need something to hold on, avalambanam. So here, Papa clearly mentioned, life is the expression of Atman. Though seemingly two, they are one. It is the stepping stone for all of us, those who are finding it difficult to connect inside, So far we have been thinking only outside.
So when we say we look, try to look within. When I look within, I have to look with, I do that job with the help of mind. Through mind only I see within.
Yeah.
And mind itself is unstable.
Mind itself is?
Unstable, not stable.
Unstable.
Unstable. So sometimes it helps to meditate and sometimes it helps to get distracted.
Correct.
So when its whole existence is questionable, it's not there. So how, sometimes why I am asking this, for some years I could be a introvert like to lead a inner life. But then with the externalities, whatever the capacity one has, like even the life, it has some time period. So whatever the devotion or the attention, all the parameters of spiritual life is limited because I am not, the present being is not unlimited. So if I have devotion for you or the love or whatever attention, whatever the words we have, that is based on situation. So I feel attracted, devoted, action oriented, whatever I am trying to do is I. That is again the mind, which is not at the last phase, it is again in the initial stage. So when I get in, I take some years of journey I make, and then I see that this is useless, the mind. So
we will go one by one. First you said the mind is always flexible. It keeps on shifting,
He can't hear what he is telling. He can't hear.
He is telling mind is unstable, how to depend on the mind.
So first of all, the very fact...
What I am trying to say, like a parent, the way the mother or the father trains a baby, like you say, we try to feed and train, see this, that and all. That I try to do. Like a parent trains his baby, mother trains his baby up to an age, till adolescent or till he is grown up. After that the mother loses his control. Similarly, I try to train myself and be spiritual, try to be involved, in all that I do, and it reaches a stage of adolescence.
Reaches a stage.
Then it is like everybody goes away and it's not in me.
It goes
and
away.
then I am useless. The whole process is useless.
No, just think. When we say the mind is unstable, that particular word you keep on thinking. Who says it is unstable? How is it that we become aware of it?
I have observed it.
How we become aware that the mind is at times doing this, at times doing this. So we are not the mind. We are not the mind.
I witness the mind.
I witness the mind.
So who is that I?
Who is that witness?
And then we try to understand. These are all inward journey, These are all inward journey. The indwelling reality enables us to think, enables us to evaluate, enables us to go out, and finally it comes back to itself and says, I am there, Sarvadi Sakshi Bhudam. So somehow he will devise some method by which we are brought back to him again. So we started with life force, When you say life force, try to understand not the life and death. Life force, that which pulsates, prana. That which pulsates. only under given circumstances it will function. That is called our life and death. If the heart has to function, if the liver has to function, if the blood supply has to function, if the digestive things have to function, there are certain do's and don'ts, congenial atmosphere. When that is not there, we call it as disease. We try to set right by the intelligence he has given through medical science, and then we try to do that. When it is beyond repair, today she was telling the computer she was using, it is beyond repair, condemned. So when it goes beyond repair, naturally the death takes place. But the prana is there now. When we don't get answers, we go to the Shastras. But we know life force, not life as such, life force. So we try to understand, because all of us are becoming aware of the life force. The easy way for us to concentrate upon this, the question was how to connect ourselves with him. The way to connect ourselves with him is to start from this life force. It is relatively easy than any other thing. And then we come to know even the power to think, even the power to make our sense objects comes from this life force. So even though the mind is the vehicle through which we have to go to him, the mind is also an offshoot, it is a product, it is a creation, or it is an expression of the Atman. So it cannot go beyond certain level. So then they have devised so many methods, we try so many methods, whichever suits us we will try to follow. Here he has advised us, you remember him always. This life force you remember. Through chanting, through dedicating all your activities and trying to feel his presence. If we are concentrating on this particular line, confusions will be less and less. Our job is to remember him. The force because of which I am. The force because of which now we are talking. The force because of which now we are seeing. All our sense organs are now vibrant, active, dynamic. What is that power behind it? We are trying to find out that power. To become aware of that power, he says you put any name and start repeating. But always feel that you are chanting the name of that power within. And later on you are chanting because of the power is making you to chant. This seemed to be relatively better for us. Rather than any other method, relatively seems to be. We have to try and see for ourselves. All our questions, that's why Papa said that, all doubts will get answered if you properly chant. That means this chanting will give us these two principles. We are chanting the name of one who is within. We are chanting the name because he is making us to chant. Suppose we keep on hammering this, clarity will come out of it. So he is there, somebody asked now, how to connect myself? I don't get connected. So we are chanting the name of one who is making you to chant, who is making you to raise this doubt, who is behind this very doubt. Oh. So I try to go, where from this thought came? I get halted, I have not trained my mind to go beyond certain boundaries. So again and again and again and again, then I try slowly, I get an opening. Think about it. That is why Papa insists for inward journey.
Doesn't happen over a period of time.
It takes its own time. Depends upon our intensity he has given to us. When our priorities are more on outside, naturally we will not concentrate here. Your love for God should become, Papa's words, your love for God should become exclusive. At the moment, for a small time we concentrate, and rest of the time everything is going out, So naturally that impact will be there. So to bring it back and turn it inward is the toughest history. That is what is called intensity. And that intensity has to follow self-denial. So many other things. simple life, commitment to the ideal, and steadfastness in whatever sadhana we are doing it. It must be regular, constant, and we will not allow anything else to get prioritized excepting this. It is
like, I have a small general question. Like all dogs are faithful.
All dogs are faithful.
Across the nature. By nature they are faithful.
When I eat the
we will do it independently.
You start from the beginning.
Yes, sorry.
Hari Om, please little louder and from the starting you tell. He is starting. Yes, what is the doubt, Bahugunaji?
Swamiji, that means Swamiji, when I eat a sweet, that means the indweller inside me is enjoying the sweet and not me.
The indweller is enjoying the sweet when I take sweet, that not me. The indweller is enjoying the sweet, not me, that means when I take the sweet.
Indweller is creating the world, including me, creating the Jagat and then enjoying the Jagat through an instrument like me.
He created the Jagat and then he is enjoying working through all instruments. I am also one of the instruments.
I am also one of his creation. He creates me, creates Jagat and then enjoys his own Jagat through, like I am a machine. Because tomorrow the sweet is still there, but I am not able to enjoy it. Similarly, there are certain things I might be speaking some ill words to some other person. So that is also the indweller is doing that through me. And then
that is the highest stage.
Because everybody is indweller.
No, if it is coming out of our experience, that is the highest stage. That he is eating through me, that is the truth. He is hearing through me. And the stage will come, he is not eating through me, he is everything. But the sense of...
The food is also him, the eating is also him.
Correct.
The giver of the food is also
Yeah.
So what is the second?
So actually, when you say the food is also he, sweetness is also he, bitterness is also he, spiciness is also he, then you will not name it as sweet or bitter. No? To quote Papa's words, eat without tasting, look without seeing, hear without listening. That stage we have to attain. But we cannot attain like that. That is the outcome of our journey. What you said now, when we reach that stage, we will not name the food as tasty or non-tasty. No?
If it is not tasty or tasty, who is enjoying the food?
Who is enjoying the taste? Who is enjoying?
Who is enjoying? We have to find out. We have to find out. What is it that makes me to eat and say that it is good or it is bad? What is it? That is how we start the inward journey, no? He says in one of his quotation, he says, when the mind ceases to be, then you realize you are the Atman. Look without seeing, hear without listening, eat without tasting. That is the thing you have to attain. So at the moment we cannot understand this. So why break our head? We will try to establish first our contact. It is the contact is there, we are unaware of the contact. We try to become aware of the contact through Nama. We try to retain this awareness by offering everything to him. We try to go within to feel his presence. So why not we concentrate on this Nam Seva Dhyan method than going to all this where we may not get answers to our satisfaction. And when we reach this, we will get all our answers. So it is better to concentrate upon one particular line of approach. Otherwise the intellect will always put some hurdle. Ours is very simple now. Without him I don't exist. So I have been thinking that I am separate from him. I have labeled and conceived so many things as good. My life experience teaches me that everything is transient. I lose my charmness for everything that I have attached myself. So what is it that stays with me? Then my spiritual preceptor says, he is within you. The moment you become aware of his presence, all your problems are solved once and for all. So my now effort is to feel his presence. Method is to keep on reminding by giving a name to it. Throughout the waking state I am unable to chant. So during the non-chanting time I try to bring in some method by which I remember him. That means offering everything to him. And then whenever the mind is receptive, when the mind is feels comfortable, it tries to go within and try to see everything as a witness. Papa mentions about the mental chanting. Mental chanting will arrest all other thoughts, and slowly the mental chanting gets stabilized. Then you become aware that you are mentally chanting. So who is becoming aware, who is chanting? It stops. That realization is God realization. That remembrance is God realization. So these three methods which Papa has tested and placed before us, why not we try and concentrate more and more on that? Especially when we say we are the spiritual children of Papa, why do we, the quotation which we read is also from him only. Because we are trying to concentrate our whole approach to Papa's life, and then because he developed it, or God made him to develop this, which is inherent in him. If it is inherent in him, it is inherent in us also. So why not we all try seriously? Otherwise we will not reach anywhere. All our satsang discussion should be centered on these three. It should help us to know more and more about the practicability of these three methods, to which we are used to which we have been doing it for decades together. Instead of bringing in another line of approach, we try to gather only from him because we want to stabilize ourselves. Papa used to say, if you want to dig water, if you want to get water, you have to dig in a particular place. When the water diviner has shown you that particular place, 2 days you do this and tomorrow you go to another place, you will not get water. So one line of approach we will do. Here the water diviner is our Guru. And he says, Nam Dhyan Seva will enable you to feel his presence and ultimately to surrender everything to him. Why not we concentrate? Think about it. Is it clear?
Yes, Swamiji, very clear.
Very clear.
Jayanti Amma.
Swamiji,
So,
Three people are talking.
Time is up.
Swamiji, it is
What?
mentioned in Quest of God, when the two Muslim saints, Sirji and Visaji are there, one is a person who doesn't realize that there is eating sweet or anything is put into a mouth, it doesn't make any difference. Sure.
That's why Papa said, one who has reached that stage, one who is giving the method. It starts with meditation is the only way, no? That means inward journey. Inward journey is the only way. With all said and done, ultimately it boils down to this. Nama chanting and seva and dhyan, all are these now the different expression of this inward reality. So inward journey is a must. We will try to concentrate on these three methods, how to internalize these three methods, and feel His presence. That is our. This should also be clear. I am unable to feel His presence now. I want to feel His presence not for a short time, throughout. I should feel His constancy should be there. As long as He makes me to live in this body, I should. Then afterwards He will take care. So this constancy, if I have to ensure, I will try to follow one method intensely. Nama to remember Him, Seva to offer everything to Him, and Dhyana to feel His presence. Let us be very clear about it now. More for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday, no?
Yes.
More for tomorrow. Very happy that sessions are becoming very, very lively. Very good. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Tomorrow, if possible, we will try to get a PPT where Papa explains about what we have been talking about under the banner, what is spirituality. That will give us more and more clarity about the indwelling reality.
Swamiji, one request. Tomorrow, how Swamiji has felt in the Muslim countries. He has recently visited.
Swamiji is telling something, no? After that we will have that, okay?
Yes, we heard.
How you felt in Muslim countries which you recently visited?
No. Why you want to interpret?
Pardon?
You went to Dubai, no? You want to know how you felt in the Muslim country.
We did not have any interactive session there. But everybody was happy. Everybody. And there was absolutely no mention about any of the thing that you belong to this, you belong to that. People who are staying there for decades together, they are all happy.